So the young fellas decided to turn up in the middle of almond harvest, would you believe? But anyway, which is kind of crazy. So I'm a little bit, well, I'm a little bit crazy most of the time, but I'm a little bit more than normal crazy because I got dust and shit everywhere. Anyway, I thought it might be cool to show you what goes on with almond harvest. So before the almonds end up on your muesli or as almond butter, is it almond butter, almond paste, or just eat the bloody things out of a tin is pretty cool for a snack. But anyway, they come on a tree. This is them getting ripe, and we come along and give them a bit of a rattle and they fall off and onto the ground. But I thought I'd show you, before they get to that point, they're a closed up little green nut like this, and then they get ripe and split open. And of course, if you were a peach grower and your bloody peaches split in half, you'd be really dark on that. But there's the seed, and I'm a bit piss poor, so I'll get 2 seeds and rub them together, then I can crack them open for you. You know, push them. If you want to know how to crack an almond and you haven't got a nut cracker with you, you get 2 together, and one of them will be harder than the other. Hopefully, get rid of that one, and then you finish it off, and you give it a little wriggle, and look, hey presto, there's a nut. Oh my goodness, how clever is that? And that's the little bit that you get to eat. Well, that one's probably going to get covered in sugar and end up on somebody's wedding thing. What's that called? What do you get that when you call that a wedding thing? What's that with a bain-marie? No, that's a heating up thing. Bombardieri. That's what they are. Chocolate covered almonds on a bombardieri. Ooh, my little girl's going to get married soon. We might have to have some chocolate covered bombardieries, but I bet you she'll say, that's not happening, Dad. Because there you go. Anyway, that's a soft shell, which is probably what you're going to get in your supermarket, which is a nice nonpareil. But we're not allowed to call them. No, they used to be called paper shells, or Californian paper shells, but of course we're not in California, which is where they come from, so we couldn't call them Californian paper shells anymore. We had to call them something else. So the almond board spent, I don't know how many thousands of dollars to research the name, and we decided to call them non-perennials. I personally thought that was just a little bit lame-ass, and I think we should have just called them golden nuggets or something or other, but that might have been a bit weird too. Anyway, so there you go, you've got a non-perennial, or a Californian paper shell, well, an Australian paper shell. Maybe we could have just called them Australian paper shells. What would have been wrong with that? We've got a Johnson, and then we've got this one, this is a Somerton, which is what we've got here, which is sort of the knee plus of Australia. And that's another size. And what other ones have we got? I haven't actually, oh, and we've got a new one over here, which is an implanted. Of course, there's no end to the bloody amount of varieties of almonds that they keep creating. This is the little one I've got planted in between our trees here that I'm trying to get organised. Which row am I in? I think these are the Monterey's. I've got some prices up there, and I've got some Monterey's here. So, looks like a Monterey more than the price. Anyway, so that's another thing that they're trying to implement. Hopefully, the almond prices were so half reasonable, I didn't actually want to cut the old tree down, so I thought I'd just put a new tree in the middle. But I think it's a dopey idea, as a matter of fact. I think I should have just pushed them out and started again. But anyway, it wouldn't be like me to do anything practical, would it? God. Oh, there you go, what? Those are the ones that end up in your manufacturing. So that's the 4 varieties that we have in this immediate vicinity where we're standing at the minute. And the lad reckons we're going to actually show you some footage of us doing this job. So, hell, that should be fun. Come and check out some dust get made. But you wouldn't believe it, the other day we were fozzicking through Nana's cupboard. My poor mother, she's got all excited and decided she's going to tidy up the house, which is rather interesting, so she's throwing out a bit of stuff. But we found some old videos. How cool is that? Anybody remember videos back in the day? Anyway, camcorders and all that sort of crazy shit. My mum had one of them and she was recording some really cool footage. And we actually stumbled across our first harvest in the Riverland, which was old school with an almond boat and bloody sheets and kids and wives trying to avoid the job, which was kind of cool. I reckon when I was watching it with the lad here not so long ago, I noticed why he's not an almond grower. Because he lost interest and he was only 5 and he was like, this just looks like hard work. I might go and find a real job, which I think was a good idea. Anyway, I might just describe what you're watching. Back in the day we used to have a long trailer which we called an almond boat, and we used to have these rack mesh sheets on it which were made out of like 50% shade cloth, and then you roll out the sheets under the tree and then you tuck them over top of each other, so you've got the tree here, say, and you're tucking the sheets around the tree so you don't get any stuck in the gap. And then you had a thing called a mallet, and you bashed the shit out of it like a caveman.
Ready to knock some almonds. First tree.
So on the beginning of this harvest in 1993, it's Mark going to do the damage. Ross is waiting impatiently. He can't stop.
Ready, set, go! Oh! Rump, man! Let him go!
The arm is coming down.
A little bit primitive. You got awful fit, or anyway. I think the first week you felt like you were going to die, and then after a little while you just drifted into this. I don't know what it was called, but I think you were just numb to the insanity. And you were just, I guess because it was the payday for the year, so you had to get the shit off the tree. Anyway, so you beat the shit out of the thing with a mallet, and then you had a stick. We thought that out a lot, didn't we? We called it a stick, and we were knocking, so we were a knocking stick. So that's pretty good. We used to smash a few of them on the day. Anyway, so you knock the tree with a stick, and then you roll the sheet in. As you can see, you roll the sheets up, fold them up, and you pull them into the almond boat. And that went on and on and on and on and on. And days went into weeks, went into months, went into... Why the hell I'm still an almond grower, I have no idea. But anyway, that went on, and you finally got the almond boat full. As you can see, the almond boat's full. And then you had to go and shovel the bloody shit out. We used to have trays, but in this particular show, we've only got a sheet. So you'd lay them out on a sheet to dry, leave them dry in the sun for a little while. Probably, depends on how bloody hot it was, about 3 or 4 days. And then you had to roll the sheets up into a pile, then shovel them back into the trailer, and then shovel them into the shed. Hell, it's no wonder I'm nearly knackered, is it? Of course, if I was still harvesting in that format, I don't think I'd still be an almond grower. It's just bloody too jolly hard and stupid. But the lad's here, so we're going to show you how we do it in this modern format. Well, I'm not super modern. I'm sort of, we could, you know, if you got really fancy shit, but I've got some half reasonable stuff that'll give you a general idea of how it's done. So come along and we'll stir up some dust. Here's the first part of the operation. Instead of a rubber mallet, we've got a bloody shaker that just rips the shit off the trees. Much better idea. You get to sit in here in air-conditioned comfort, listen to your latest iTunes or podcast or whatever the hell else you're doing. I'll just put my trusty hat on and we'll get into it. Coming off pretty good. Hell, that makes swinging the mallet look like bloody primitive activity, doesn't it? Yeah, that would have been a whole day's work by the almond boat standards. Wish I was actually that strong. All I've got to do is, I've got a strong thumb. Anyway, here we are, stage 2. We've got to get our sweeper out and line up them nuts that we just shook off the tree. Well, actually this is a thing done a few days ago because you've got to let them dry out a bit. And so we'll just line them up and we'll show you how that's done. It's a bit easier than a rake. if you're watching that sweeper driving along and you wondered what the hell's going on, underneath that top cover there's some paddles, and these paddle wheels go along like that and sweep all the almonds into the middle of the row, as you can see. And the big heap of dust and noise out the back, well, that's just a big blower, so you can blow them from underneath the tree. So when you come back the other way, you'll sweep them into the other side of the row. So I guess if we were doing the expose, this would be stage 3, or the final stage, depending on how you put it. So we've got the pickup machine, another bloody dusty, noisy piece of excitement. Little old tractor on the front that's seen better days. Poor thing got bought by me, it didn't have a chance. Got the lovely pickup machine from California, the boys that know what's going on. And then we've got a trailer on the back of the machine, which actually holds all the almonds, of course, and then we cart them back here to the shed. If we were really fancy, of course, we'd have a bank out trailer and we wouldn't have to drive back here all the time, but hell, there's only so much crap a bloke can afford to buy at a time. The weather's been a bit hectic out here doing this harvest, but at least my lips are under control with my wife's lovely lip balm. Oh, I tell you what, is that is that a bloody ad or whatever? But anyway, I don't know, I'm not normally a lip balm person, but this shit's good. So, I'll put some more on. Was a bit more organised, I wouldn't have to try and back up like that, but still. Anyway, so if you had a proper bank out, you'd actually just hit that lever there and then the elevator turns on. But poor old Bush Bee man, almond grower aka, he's got a bit of old rod to hold it in. I had to weld a bit of round pipe on there, but anyway, there's a flat chain that drops onto this chain that lifts it up, and then we're going to drop it into this trailer. And that's going to go whizzing up there onto a pile. Sometimes I actually do it out in the field, but just at the minute it was easy to do it here, and I thought, well, that's will look cool too. So here we go. Let's make some noise. Well, that's one variety down. I remember when the kids were little, they used to go sliding down these heaps and get bloody sticks and stuff stuck in their legs and shit, and I'd get told off for that. And it wasn't even my idea for it to happen. Oh, God, I'm just sitting there and I'm thinking, I don't know what it is about farming. This job, I'm all covered in crap and itchy and dusty as shit. When I'm beekeeping, I'm all sticky. I don't know. Anyway, just as well a bloke could have a smile. Well, anyway, you got to see yesteryear and you got to see today. And either way, you all get covered in crap, so here we are. Anyway, I hope you enjoy your almonds when you get to eat some, because actually, they're not too bad. Apparently, they're bloody good for you and all. So thank you all for watching yet again. Thank you for you Patreon supporters. I tell you what, we've nearly saved up enough money to go on a bit of a trip to see some other bee adventures. We were talking about going and seeing a queen rearing dude. So keep on helping us along, and you never know, the show might expand and get really cool. Oh, anyway, my poor old weary body's got to head to the shower because I'm covered in crap.